Hey guys, I wanted to make an initial introduction to this channel for the purpose of it and the basis for what I'll look to be creating, sharing with everyone. So I go by the name Astro Monad. I've had the nickname of Uno since the third grade, and kind of connecting to the term of monad and how Uno monad is dealing with a single unit. Um, just relating to astrology and how we all have our own single natal charts. But when you look into the concept of a monad, you know that there's a level of a fractalization of things that, you may have a point right here, but then there's subsequent points below or initial points at the top. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a connection of things with that significance that while you can look to, look at one particular thing here, it's in many respects a unit to a whole. You know what I mean? That one thing is not just the only thing. So with astrology, just getting into that similarity of things to what I just said, a lot of times people they can feel like it with astrology takes away their agency. That when you say, oh, because maybe you're this type of placement, this, that, such forth, people feel like it's of a limiting connotation to look to categorize in many respects their, persona and ego in that respect. But in many ways, I don't look at it like that because at the end of the day, we know, there are things outside of our control in life. There are things that we kind of have to just abide by. And when you know who you are, getting into this aspect of knowledge of self with astrology, you know how then better to kind of facilitate and maneuver around, the course of this life here. So that's the purpose of this video, or even channel, is to just kind of identify that fact that there are those set of things that are technically outside of your volition, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? You just need to identify how best you can fit within it for this life that we find ourselves in. There's an example you can say of food. You know what I mean? We got to eat. And it don't matter who you are. You know what I mean? Like, you have to eat. And depending on who you are, there are certain types of cuisines, diet regimens that are more complementary, palatable to who you are. So it's the same shit with astrology. You know what I mean? Depending on what placements you have or whatnot, it can further emphasize the talents, say the skills, values that you hold more so than, say, just another person we can talk about. So I'm just all about getting to know that knowledge of yourself to better yourself and those that you can affect. I think it's a great thing that we can all look to better do because this type of information is I would say it is relatively popular, but it can be better in terms of how much more we can share across to one another. And I would definitely like to be a part of that progression of things. So yeah, astrology is definitely a fractal component. There's just so many different ways that you can look at it to better interpret what it means about you. And I'm just looking to kind of talk about different insights that I've come across with the different teachers that I have encountered so far. With my recent, you can say, start into this study. I haven't really done it that too long, maybe at most a couple years at this time now, a few years at best at this point. So I'm still very much so touching the surface, but at this point, I am comfortable enough to look to start to share what I have gained for myself, to look to help others gain what is out there from them. So yeah, looking forward to what I can look to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it.